Good evening, everybody. As you are all aware that the temple tanks are the part of the ancient architecture of the temples. Each and every temple had a pond wherein they collected all the rainwater, and this was used throughout the year for the bathing and cleansing before visiting the temple. And they were also used to immerse the Ganesha idol during Ganesh Chaturthi. The temple tanks in the ancient technology were not but to recharge the aquifer and later to be extracted through the wells surrounding these temples. These kalyanis, which are called in different names in different parts of India, like Kund, Sarovar, Tirtha, Talab, Pushkarni. These were like the barometers of the city's underground resources and making its fluctuations visible, so that people knew that if the groundwater has fallen, they would use the water sparsely. But in the late 60s and early 70s, when we started drilling the borewell, we started neglecting these kalyanis and the open wells. And today we are facing the consequences. So it so happened that during the COVID time, I visited this place called Anekal, which is near to Bangalore, about 35 kilometers from Bangalore. We were distributing the ration kits for the weavers community there during the COVID time. So on my way back from the weavers colony, I stopped at a particular point to wait for my other colleagues to join, and I saw a beautiful tank which was there. So I called, there were some locals who were sitting there, and I asked them, what exactly is this? They said, sir, this is a very old kalyani. From last 35 years, it has not been in use. So that day, I made up my mind that I should rejuvenate this kalyani at later part of the time. So you can see how this kalyani was before we started the work. So it was totally mess. All the shrubs and trees had grown in, and lot of mud was thrown in. And because it was next to the market, people used to throw all kinds of the leftover vegetables into it, and it had become so dirty. You can see this. So then this year, before 1 month before the World Water Day, I thought it is the right time, so that we can approach people and we should rejuvenate this kalyani. So we spoke to the local people over there and gathered the information. This is a 11th century old kalyani, and they said that the water here had a medicinal values. Many of the kalyanis in India had a lot of medicinal values in their water. So this kalyani had the medicinal value, and they say that the water from here was carried to the Vodayars and the Krishnadevaraya. It was taken as a gift to the kings earlier days. And this was the only place from where they took the water, and this water was used for cooking of their pulses. No other water in this town, they could cook the pulses, and this was the sweetest water. You can see how bad shape it was present. So once we decided, we spoke to the local people there. The person standing here is the counselor, earlier counselor. So we spoke to him, and he said any person who got married before 35 years in Anekal would have taken the water from here. They would have come here for their Ganga Puja, and any of the functions that used to happen, this was a prominent place to visit, without fail. So once we came to know about the history of this place, so we thought we should we thought that we should give a scientific approach to this. To give a scientific approach, the main thing that was needed was to channelize all the water to this kalyani and find the source of water to the kalyani, so that after every rainfall, this kalyani gets the water. Because of this modernization, they had built the park around, and all the water that used to come to this kalyani was stopped. So what we started was, once we had a master plan done, And once we did that master plan, then we started channelizing. You can see we constructed these channels surrounding this park, which is about 2 acres of area. So what happens is every small rainfall of just 25 mm, you get about 2 lakh liters of water. Out of that, about 30 to 40% would have percolated, but rest of the water was channelized so that this water comes to the Kalyani, because that was the main thing to do before we start the work, because unless we get this water, there is no point in rejuvenating or cleaning the Kalyani. So this was properly planned, and because we had a meeting with the locals over there, we came to know that each and every family in Anekal were using this water. So this gave us one good thing to start, and we approached all the people who were of age of 50-55 years, and they all had their memories of taking water from this Kalyani. So it was very easy for us to organize the people, and all the peoples joined together. And we are fortunate enough that the municipal president was a person who was using this water. He remembered that every day it was his duty to carry the water from this pond to his house for the cooking purpose. So that was one of the blessing in disguise for us. So he also agreed to join hands and provide us the maximum funds that could. The total project of this whole Kalyani rejuvenation, including this storm drains all around the park, was about 12,30,000 rupees. So we had a memo task of collecting this fund and starting it. So we approached the Rotary Clubs, 3 Rotary Clubs of Bangalore. In one of the Rotary Club, I was a part of it. So it was easier for me to convince them, on World Water Day, let's do something worth for the Mother Earth. So then we started. Then we could gather all these individuals from the town, and as well as the Rotary Club members. So we used to travel every Sunday to Anekal and started cleaning. So it was totally with the community participation. We wanted it to be a community participation, because if we clean it by spending the money, with my experience, I knew that this wouldn't be taken care later. So we involved particularly the households near to them, near to this Kalyani, and told them, if you rejuvenate this Kalyani, your borewells will get recharged, or you will have plenty of water in, and the quality and quantity of your borewells will improve. So they readily joined, because they were facing a lot of shortage of water during summer. So once we told them and convinced them that this will help them in a big way, so they were ready. They came out. They actually went out of the way to help us. Every week they used to organize breakfast for the people who used to come for community working. So this is how we started the working, and everybody participated. Even municipality was kind enough to send Paurokarmikas, because there were whole, in some part of this one, there were big shrubs which had come up, and it was very difficult for common people to remove. So we took some help from the Paurokarmikas also, and they were also happy to do it. In fact, it was not as a duty, because they were coming after their duty hours and doing it as a service. So, it was a service part on them. It was not the regular duty hours which they work. So you can see how the transformation started taking up in this Kalyani. We cleaned Kalyani. About more than 30 loads of mud silt which was accumulated here was removed, and then slowly it started getting shape. Then we decided, because what has happened was, in sometimes before, probably when they had rejuvenated or tried to rejuvenate this, they had put the slabs at the bottom of the center part of the Kalyani. So we wanted there should be some earth that should be approachable, so that we should get the water. So we tried to dig a well in the center of the Kalyani. And fortunately, after 16 feet, we got plenty of water in the well. So that well, what we thought was, we'll make this well as a pumping this one. So we'll create one kind of fountain thing, so that there is always, whenever we want, we can start this and then the oxygenation of the water, aeration of the water can take place. Because if the water is always stagnant, earlier what used to happen was during earlier days they used to remove the water, so the continuously the water would have come from the well, and then the water would be fresh always, because there were a lot of fresh water from the ground would have been added to the Kalyani. But now, because Kalyani is not in use, people are not removing the water. So we thought if the water is stagnant for a long time, there would be algae which will grow. So we thought we should make a well, and then we should put a aeration, this one, a simple motor, which could aerate the water into that. So that was planned and done. This is how this community participation happened. We could see that everybody participated and they took pride in that. And as the days went on, as the things were put into the social media, every day, means every Sunday, we used to get more than 50 to 60 members participating, from the kids to the household to the scouts, guides, rovers, and a lot of NGOs which were pro nature there came to all, and we could transform this. Then what we did was, we thought we should make this place a place where it's a recreation center. Then only there will be some use of it. Otherwise, once in a blue moon, somebody will come and do puja and go. But if we can make it a place of recreation, because water always carries so much of positivity, so we thought we should make it a place so beautiful that every week some activity should happen. Some children should come, they should have some activities and some recreation, some talks and all. So we decided we should paint the walls and make it beautiful, and some kind of small stage was created, and then the sitting place was properly done up. You can see how the people used to participate every morning, from morning 7 o'clock to about 11 o'clock. People used to work about 3 to 4 hours, and according to their available time, we had lot of professionals participating. Lot of money just started pouring in. When you start doing some good work, we were worried when we started, how will we collect this 12 lakh rupees? It's a big money, and we couldn't believe how the money came. Everybody came, somebody contributed, in some time, some gave paint, some paid the painters, somebody said, hello, I'll take care of the cementing part of it. So money, it came up. So that means I just wanted to say, if we have really have a good plan, and if we really have got a dedication, money will never be a problem for any of the projects. Any of the community projects, money will never be a problem if we can give a proper approach, and if we take the community along with us. If the whole community is brought together, if everybody is given importance, and the importance of this place, if it is explained properly, that is where we could crack, because if we gave them how it is going to help them, a roadmap, how it will be maintained, how the water will come, because people had got apprehension, sir, you will repair it today, make it everything good, and you go, and then again it will be spoiled. So we had a roadmap. There was a market which was next to it. So that was one of the major culprit, because they used to throw. We took all the vegetable vendors into the confidence, brought them, and one Sunday, we got them and we had a breakfast meet with them and explained them why it is important, what it is going to do for their children's, and why it is very much needed, and why it was done in the earlier. We explained them why Kalyani was built next to the temple. What was the importance of it? How does it help the people? How it will help in rejuvenating their borewells? So it was a eye opener for them. And next week when we went, we couldn't see a single vegetable being thrown into that. So that was one of the big breakthrough. We got it, and we were very happy about it, because that were the major point which was getting, so this is how it was rejuvenated. Sorry. So majority of the club, they wanted this one. So different clubs participated, and we had. So this is how it turned out to be. You can see how beautifully it is turned out to be. We painted there. On the walls till we calculated till where the water is going to be stagnant, and above that we could paint this. So this became a beautiful place, and whole of the fencing was done, and the gate with a lock and key was done. So the lock was handed over to the president of the Anekal and the temple. So the temple became the custodian of this place. And then it was beautifully planned. As I told you earlier, a stage was also created where you could address the gathering there. So this is how you can see here. On the inauguration day, we thought we'll do small Gange Puja on March 22nd. The World Water Day, we thought it is an appropriate day to inaugurate this. So we called and whole of the town, majority of the people, we had the whole thing was totally jam-packed on that day. And with a small puja, we inaugurated this tank. So that day we had a huge gathering, and we recognized each and every person in the community, and we formed a group. That day we announced a group who will be able to take care of the local people, who will be taking care of the this well. And you can see how this was transformed from the day it started. People couldn't believe it, and once it was done, so a lot of activities are going on here every weekends. Childrens are coming here. They have some activities. Last week alone, they had some painting competition on the nature. On the World Earth Day, they had some activities. They had some talks and all. So these, now this has become a recreation center. People would like to come and spend their evenings, because there's a lot of water. This water was being pumped out, and because it is summer, and this is the first year, we had to pump some water from outside also, because to maintain that. After this rain, we had rains this month end, in March end. So that water also came inside. So that was the first sign to see the water. This is how a pond which was neglected for more than 35 years we could do after 6 weeks of work every 6 Sundays. If you take it 6 Sundays, and with a lot of man hours spent by the community people, and some we had to get these paintings were done by some local NGOs. This means, but majority of the thing, except for the few well digging, others, and well digging and the painting of the walls, others all were community participation. And so that is how it has been taken, and it is very well received. Even after 1 month of its inauguration, we have seen that every week there is activity which is taking place. Thank you.